Hi there, Having Faith Through the Flames here, and welcome to my new home. We have a new background that we're going to be using for a short while until I figure out how I'm going to be doing my videos. But before we get into that, I'd like to say, it's Thursday, it's Thursday, it's Thursday, it's Thursday, it's Thursday. Man, I haven't done that dance in a long time, and I'm glad that I got to do it today. Today we're going to be looking at what happens after a large event. For me, it happens to be moving. Other people, it can be a vacation, it can be a large holiday, it can even be family visiting or things that are tough. Divorce, losing house, losing job. But after large events happen, we get keyed up for the event and we're super excited. Then it happens and we have lots of fun, or we go through the hard part. And then we go through this depression. Now, for some people, this may not be a hard depression where people are in the dirt and can't move and are upset and crying. It could be just they start doing different things. They start reacting differently. They start getting angry quickly. For me, I tend to go in my hole, which is normally my bedroom. I pull out a book and I read, or I spree something on Netflix. When I realized that I was in my depression, after moving and the events of all of that, I went straight to the Bible. I read a few things. I read all of Jeremiah, I read Habakkuk, I read Lamentations, and I read Daniel. And all of that just filled me with his word, but none of it quite hit where I needed to be. Then as I was laying in bed this morning, I looked over at my wall and I saw Exodus 14:14. I come across this a lot because I have it on my wall and it is the first thing I see when I wake up. I've actually talked about it a lot in a lot of my videos. But today, God talked to me. He talked to me through my mom. He talked to me through my friends. But he really talked to me through my emotions. He helped me see that the things that I was feeling were not real and to look at the truth. And here we go again, you guys. We've got a poem. I'm not going to lie, this one took me almost all day to write, because what happened was I got it all out on paper and then I had to shift it so that it was in verse form. But I wanted to read it to you because I think this is going to hit a lot of people as we start back to school for a lot of teachers, as we start back to the grind for a lot of people who have been off for a while, who have taken vacations. I just think it's a good one for us to kind of look at. So I'm going to read you a personal narrative, and it is something that I wrote today. So be kind in the comments, but let's go ahead and get started. This one's called The Challenge. Today, Satan challenged me and knocked me on my knees. He pitched dirty lies at me and caused my heart to freeze. You are dirty, you are unworthy, you are pitiful and meek. You are small, you are unfaithful, you fail when you are weak. I closed my eyes and gripped my chest, hearing the onslaught of hate. He ripped at me and gnawed at me, hoping I'd take the bait. The insults were not new. I'd heard them all before. His methods had not changed, and his affronts continued more. I gulped in air and lowered my head, bearing down on my knees. Take these lies away from me, Lord. Please give me a reprieve. Thank you for this trial. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your blessings continually raining from above. Help me during this challenge. I can't take any more. Don't let me go back there. I remember from before. I prayed for reminders of who I am. I prayed for his help and the coming of the Lamb. Satan felt my armor shift. He doubled down on his attack. Anger pulsed through him as he searched every layer and every crack. You haven't talked to him in weeks. Your sins are too great. He won't listen to your pleas. You are linked to your fate. My heart broke with the new attacks, wondering if they were true, knowing I had not sought forgiveness as I know I ought to do. Staying still and afraid to ask, unsure of what the Lord would say, I tried to think and remind myself, Jesus took these sins away. Lord, I'm scared to seek you. knowing what I've done. I'm afraid of my unworthiness and the stripes I put on your son. Child, do not fear. I am here, you may rest. He's shaken you and challenged you, telling you you're not blessed. Stay still, my dear one. You need not do any more. I always fight for you. I have already won this war. This is just a test, he whispered into my heart. A challenge, an attack to tear and rip us apart. But you are not alone. I am here as I've always been. There is nothing too big for me. Peace, my child. I will win. The oppression of the evil one immediately lifted from my soul. God had returned me to everything Satan had painfully just stole. My strength returned and I stood again, lifting my hands in praise. His truth and love washed over me, cleansing me in many ways. Satan's lies were wiped away. His strength had run dry. The challenge was now over. The Lord's truth reigns on high. So that's what I came up with today. As you can tell from it, I definitely went through quite a battle, and it took a lot of the morning. And when I'm like that, I tend to be very raw and open, and everything hurts me. Like the smallest thing that people do hurts me. And even if they don't mean to, and they're just like saying hi, and I'm like, hi, and they're like, oh, you're not feeling well. And I'm like, no, and they don't hug me. I mean, just little things like that. So when I'm in battle, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And so I was trying to push everybody away, and that's not what God wanted for me. That's not what God wanted for me at all. So when you're in the middle of your battles, what do you do? When you're in a challenge, what do you do? Do you pull people close and ask them to pray for you? Do you turn to God, or do you turn inward? Do you turn to yourself, and do you shut down? Think about it. If you guys have any prayer requests or questions about today's video, feel free to write them down in the comments. And until next Tuesday, I will see you later. Bye.